No Roman?
Yeah, I couldn't find a good picture of Roman.
Okay. But these are the good these are good three talking points.
Yep.
So
All right, here we go. Ready? Let's
yeah.
rock. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to What If Wrestling. Host Glenn Thomas along with my main man, Champ Creed. What's going on, Champ?
Hi-yo, happy 2025.
Happy 2025. I know it's been a minute since we did this, but we thought it was a momentous occasion last night. WWE Monday Night Raw on Netflix. So we wanted to hop on today just to impromptu Raw review, man. All is well, brother.
I mean, listen, we've been at this for a while, a very long time. And I will have to say that I think this may be the apex of the industry. If you look at the times from the inception of television, even going into the montage that they displayed where Triple H was the narrator, and he took it from its roots to the inception of television, which for any sport like this or any sport in general, when you have a new technology, it brings in a different audience. And where we are now with streaming, their partnership with Netflix, the industry as a whole has reached a new level that, uh, they always say we do this in front of the world. And I think John Cena had mentioned this in a post conference. This literally is professional wrestling, sports entertainment in front of a global audience.
Yeah.
Like this is a big deal. So if we were ever going to do what we do, now is the best time to pick it right back up.
Yeah, man. You said that what over 80 countries saw it live last night, right?
Yep.
On Netflix. 80 countries saw it live. 80 countries were able to tune in, log onto Netflix. And shout out to Netflix for them. And no glitches on my end.
No glitches. No
No
glitches.
glitches. No buffering. No nothing. I think I was talking to somebody. This is better when the network first came out, right? When you first had the network, the first night of the network, you had all kind of issues and problems and time
Yeah.
delays. But Netflix, they fixed the issue since the Mike Tyson fight, and it's been good. The NFL didn't have any glitches or anything like that. So WWE Raw was well. But we saw some good things last night, man. We saw, you hit us up in the chat. We saw something that I thought was it was telling. What's up with the Rock? So we don't get no WrestleMania Rock?
No,
Yeah.
no. Listen, he's executive, CEO, corporate Rock right now. Plus, I think his filming schedule, I believe he has a couple movies that he's going to be shooting. And look, can he do a run-in? Sure, right? I mean, he can do a run-in, but a long, drawn-out storyline. He did that last year. He doesn't need to do it this year. I think that the whole bloodline family thing, I think they kind of like brought that all together and wrapped it up in a nice bow last night. And now it's time for the stories to go elsewhere with different feuds and different arcs. But I do expect a Stone Cold Steve Austin run in because he lives in Nevada now. So for WrestleMania, I do believe Stone Cold will be involved. There ain't nothing but a truck ride away for him.
Yeah, it definitely nothing but a truck ride away from him, man. So we'll be able to see that. With Rock telling last night, you saw the CEO Rock. We didn't know what he was going to do. He gave props to Cody Rhodes for carrying the company on his back for a year. Cody carried on his back. He gave props to Roman Reigns for being the original, original tribal chief for being there. I thought he was going to give props to Hunter because I thought Hunter did a great job. Hunter has done a great job since he's taken over WWE. Him and Nick Khan. I like the fact, and we mentioned it too, all the suits that were there last night. That means those the money people, right? The money people that was there, and they was giving props out to them. And look at the WWE ring last night with all the sponsorship. I didn't know if I was watching WWE or UFC, man.
Well, listen, I mean, this is the first time in a long time, and I wow, man, we've been at this, like I said, for a minute. I can recall when I first mentioned that there would be a convergence of all the sports, which is what we had with TKO right now. And I used to do the ranking, the hierarchy, which one is bringing in the more revenue, which one is selling the most tickets, which one is doing the better pay-per-views, which one has a better media presence. And right now, I'd say for the past 2 years, the WWE has been on top of everything to the point where, the marketability can cross over now, not only to families, but that desired male demographic that they had, then lost, and got back, then lost, and now they've got it back again. They've done a great job of explaining what it is. You know, before, if you talk to people, and still to this day, but just a minimum, oh, I don't watch that, they would say fake stuff. Now the language is, yes, it's scripted, you know, the same way you would script a movie. And it helps that you have guys like John Cena, Dwayne Johnson, Roman Reigns have been, he was in Fast and Furious.
Dave Bautista.
But Dave Bautista, right. You know, you have these guys that are transitioned into the higher level of, you know, television and film, and it translates back to the product. So it's clicking on all cylinders right now. I truly believe that we are in a professional wrestling renaissance. And with Netflix, I mean, people that don't even watch wrestling were texting me last night. Yo, did you know it was on? Yeah, I knew it was on Netflix. Look who you're talking to. That's why you texted me. But people that are outside of the wrestling industry or outside of the wrestling fandom, like they're peeking in now. And now they get a chance to see what we've known all along, that this is a top level grade of entertainment.
Yeah, it's top level brand entertainment for everyone, right? For all ages, for all cultures, for all races, for all creed. I mean, this right, you know, it put on a spectacle to me and had that big fight feel, right? So I'm wondering, because is this what Monday night is going to look like from here on out? Is every Monday night going to have a big time Monday night feel? Or do we go back to the original, you know, Monday Night Raw? Because they've been setting up big matches for even for next week, right? So do we get the big match feel each and every week, or was this just a one-off?
Well, no. The first launch is going to have its own magic to it, and the fact that they did it in the new arena, was it the Intuit Arena?
Intuit Arena, yeah.
Yeah, like that is the state of the art arena. Like the way they set it up. The production was a high level, the editing, the different camera angles, the drone camera, the lighting, the lighting that they even have in the seats to have a synchronized pattern. Yeah. Like you couldn't have had this premiere in a better place, right? Now, you're not going to get that every week. No, this was the first one. There'll be a little bit of momentum that goes into next week. But the thing about it is, the primary storyline is we're leading into the Royal Rumble, which is the kickoff for WrestleMania season.
Yeah.
And that takes us all the way to April. Now, the key will be what happens, as you say, when the weather changes. Because you can't compete with the weather. Can't compete with good weather. What happens then? But it's on Netflix. So you don't have to watch it live. You just watch it when you go back in at some point. Right? Yeah. If that's a feature. I'm not sure if that's a feature yet where you can watch it on replay, but I do know that for the NFL football game, they aired it. They had Beyonce's halftime show, and then Netflix packaged Beyonce's halftime show separately. Right. So it may have separate segments as to where you don't have to watch the whole program in its entirety. Maybe it'll be a highlight reel. Maybe it'll be a one-off story arc. There's so many things that you can do in post-production with this to add additional content, plus whatever their content distribution license is with Netflix and the ancillary content that goes along Raw that may go on Peacock. They have a plethora of options. There's a lot of things that you can do with this. And I don't think it's going to be like it was for the first Monday, but I do expect it to be shows that will deliver and be at a high level.
And to answer the question, yes, you can go back in Netflix and watch it just like you did live at any time. Right now, it's trending number 10 on Netflix, right? It's trending as top 10 in Netflix every week right now. So I can see that trending each and every week. Right now, Netflix has 5 episodes listed, 5 weeks out. But, you know, it's something that people can take advantage of. You know, to me, it was different because I didn't have to worry about setting my DVR, right? I didn't have to go back, go back and watch the DVR later. Even the commercials that Netflix is playing was good, you know. Probably get into that next time, what they're paying for on Netflix to air commercials, the whole money piece. But you mentioned the Road to Royal Rumble, right? And we saw 2 guys put their name in the hat last night for the Royal Rumble. One was John Cena, who cut a promo in the ring because, you know, started his farewell tour in Los Angeles, and mentioned that he doesn't really, and he said in a post conference, he doesn't want to take away from any of the guys that have been here working a long time. Don't put him in the title picture, right? Let him work his way into it, whether that's winning the Royal Rumble, whatnot. So he declared last night that he's going to put his hat into the Royal Rumble. CM Punk, who defeated Seth Rollins last night in a good match, great match. We saw some go to sleeps. We saw a couple curb stops, which both opponents changed their opponent's finisher. So two guys declared for the Royal Rumble: CM Punk and John Cena. Both of these guys can be favorites going into the Royal Rumble season, as you mentioned, which will be in Indianapolis, Indiana, on February 1st. Your thoughts on Cena's last night promo, and your thoughts on Seth Rollins and CM Punk's match?
Well, I think John did a great job of being in character and being himself, which he himself is his own character, and he has been for the duration for his entire career, except for when he was the prototype, right? I mean, you saw that he has one of the most unique connections to the audience, very rare, definitely on the Mount Rushmore. And I think he's setting the stage for a legendary farewell tour. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think we've ever had a wrestler do a farewell tour, have we? Like a legit
not publicly known out there, like, yo, this is what I'm doing, right? I think some people we knew Ric Flair was going to retire at WrestleMania 24, right? But it wasn't a whole year long.
Like a whole year. Yeah. I mean, for him, the creative here, this is going to be special, barring injury, because anything can happen. If John Cena wasn't on your Mount Rushmore in January 2025, by the time we get to December 2025 with this story arc, I think he will be, because it will be the perfect bookend to a career that spans decades, man. I mean, you look at what he said, which was real. I'm too old and give other people a chance. But in the world of the WWE, within this realm, in this universe, anything can happen. So he set the stage up perfectly. That was a great promo. Wasn't over the top, wasn't too long, wasn't too short. It sets the stage, and it hit the point. It hit the bumps that he needed to hit to get the crowd in the mind state of where they need to be for this run.
Yeah, it's a lot of realism and a lot of story arc that was all mixed into this thing, right? 48 years old. Don't want to take away from the young guys, but yet I'm gonna throw my name in the Royal Rumble. We see where it goes, right? Which there's a possibility they still two champions out there, right? You got Gunther, you also have Cody Rhodes there as well. So it's a great possibility for him. I like the fact that he's calling his shot here. This is something like a Kobe Bryant type thing. I'm retiring at the end of the year, right? I think when you see the next big farewell tour, we'll see coming up probably that of LeBron James here in a couple of years, right?
Right.
Where it's going to be a hot ticket, right? I remember Kobe's farewell tour, right? When they was able to see a game where at the Capitol Center when they played the Wizards. It was a big ticket. So now everywhere John Cena is going to be at, it's going to be a big marketing ticket, because guess what? This might be the last time I get to see John Cena live, right? This is the last time I get to see John Cena live to lace up the boots, right? So that story arc there, even he's doing it, and I had to really think about it. He's doing this without Vince, right?
Yeah,
it's right. He's doing his farewell tour without Vince, and I don't care what people say. Vince had a big role into John Cena's 10-year run when after the Attitude Era, and he was the man in the Ruthless Aggression era. John Cena can really say he held this company down when nobody else was there.
Right.
When it was developing new talent, and some talents were getting older. So it's good to see John. And then John found a life in Hollywood. As much as he gave the Rock slack, or as much as he gave you put the Rock down for leaving wrestling, John realized what the Rock was doing. Like, hey, I don't have to take these bumps. I ain't gotta get beat up. I can just use my voice, and I can star on TV shows, and they pay me what?
Yeah. He's transitioned quite well to his career in television and movies. And I mean, you hear his voice. The voiceover is just voiceover work in general. I think, to be honest with you, the only person you hear more on TV, commercial-wise, is what? Shaq and Samuel Jackson.
Yeah,
and
Shaq.
Barkley.
Yeah.
John Cena's got to be like one of the most, probably top 10 voiceover actors in television today.
Yeah, he's up there though, because his voice is on a lot of stuff, right?
And Keith David as well.
Yeah,
Like,
Keith David.
yeah, like those guys, and the Allstate guy. I can't remember his name. I just remember he was in Waiting to Exhale.
Yeah. So your thoughts on Seth Rollins and CM Punk last night?
It was so I got a text from a buddy of mine, and he said, this match was a little. I got to text you and an actual buddy of mine. Y'all text me and was like, yeah, the match was a little bit, plotting, and it was a little bit too paced, but they had to pace it for the timing of the TV. They had to. They had a little bit of extra time because I know that they cut a few segments short last night. So they were in a spot where they had a very wide window, but they didn't want to give too much because I still think that there's going to be another match with those guys. Let me see. Elimination Chamber is when?
Is it late February? Maybe early March.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Those guys, this is not going to be a one-off. This is going to be a feud that I believe is going to probably go all the way to March or maybe towards WrestleMania. I don't think it'll be a match at WrestleMania, but I think it'll end like right before the PLE, or it'll come to a head at the PLE and have WrestleMania ramifications. But the match itself, it was a good match. I definitely liked Seth's his outfit for the show. That looked pretty cool. The once again, the lighting, the presentation, the wardrobe, the everything was a 10 on this show. The placement. The only issue I have is in terms of the mat. There was a placement in the far corner written in cursive, and I couldn't figure out what it was until Hogan came out and talked about his Real American beer. So I was like, the L of the night, which we can elaborate on, had to be Hulk Hogan and Real American beer for a litany of reasons.
It is, man. I mean, we go there to match. Well, let me hit on Seth Rollins and CM Punk first. I thought the match was good, storyline. I was worried about this match because people, when they have real feuds, really don't wrestle well, right, against each other. Real feuds don't translate into great matches. But I thought this one was a decent match. You could see both guys working their stuff, right, getting the angles and getting the crowd over. The crowd was really into this match. And you really didn't know who was going to win going into it, right? It was really like you didn't know. That was one of these ones like it could go sway either way. And CM Punk got the dub. So I thought it was good. And, let's see where the story arc goes for him. Because Punk's trying to go have that WrestleMania moment, right? Whether it's for the title or whatever, he wants to have a WrestleMania moment. And we'll see if we get there. But now let's go to the L of the night. The L of the night has to go to Hulk Hogan, has to go to – he thought he was bigger than what he was, right? He thought people had forgave him. See, I think I told my daughter this. She was like, "Oh, they booing Hulk Hogan." My wife with family watching it, they booing Hulk Hogan. I said, "Yeah, people forgive you for the N-word. Some people forgave you for the N-word incident. They're not going to forgive you for what you did at the Republican convention.
No,
that you're in a Democratic California state.
Yeah.
You're not going to forgive you for that whole support Donald Trump thing, whether right, wrong, or different. I don't care who people voted for. I'm just saying." Reporting this is why Hulk Hogan got all the boos, because of what he stood for and what he was supporting during the past election. It's not about him. And they forgave the N-word because they still were cheering him after that. But after this right here, nah.
Listen, they only gonna have to roll him out, and he's a paid sponsor, by the way. Not saying he gets paid to do. No, he pays them to put his logo on the ring, and he pays them to advertise and promote his beer, right? To which we're going to talk about Hulk Hogan and merch and all this other stuff after this, because I got some ideas that you and I could toss around. So I don't even know where to begin, man. Like you said, they're not going to forgive him for his political allegiance, right?
Yep.
And he did this in LA, high-level liberal city, right? You might only be able to roll him out in red states. Like if it's Raw coming to you live from Alabama or something like that, Raw from Arkansas, Raw from Texas, you may only be able to roll him out on limited occasions. I think that's what they learned last night. And then my thing about Real American Beer. Hulk Hogan is damn near 70 years old, right? I don't get why you're rolling out Real American Beer now. Like, you should have had NWO beer, right? You should have had Real American vitamins. Because think about this. The Flintstones didn't make the vitamins. Their characters were licensed. Hanna-Barbera has the license, and whatever company, whether it's Centrum, they were generating the vitamins. Do you know how much money he would have made if he would have had Real American vitamins?
Oh, it would have been through the roof.
Real American.
But the vitamins that he was taking during those times, you couldn't get to the kids. The vitamins that he was taking, kids couldn't take those vitamins he was taking.
Yeah, we'll have a watered down version for the kids, similar to the Flintstone vitamins. So Hulk Hogan missed the vitamins. He missed the Real American vitamins. He missed the Foreman grill, which could have been the Hogan grill.
Yep.
Right? If you were going to do beer, it would have been best to do the NWO beer, right? If you were going to do that. Austin kind of missed it, but he caught it like when it made sense. Like, it made sense during the Attitude Era, but then when he came back, he started showing up, and he wasn't that far past his prime. Now, here's my suggestion for Hulk Hogan to get in good graces with everyone, right? I sentence Hulk Hogan to 2 months rehabilitation with Dr. Umar, right? Hulk Hogan got to go to sessions for 2 months, twice a week with Dr. Umar, right? And then after that, he's got to package his Real American Beer with products from Dr. Sebi. If Hulk Hogan does those 2 things, he'll get back in good graces with black people.
Yo, then guess what? Hulk Hogan's not going to get good graces with people, but it also showed that Triple H showed too that that cash cow Hulk Hogan does not draw anymore, right? Yeah. He's not drawing what he was drawing.
No.
They are past the Hulk Hogan. Like, our generation, remember, there's some generation of fans who may have never seen Hulk Hogan wrestle, right? That's understand. Yeah. And so our generation is supporting this, and our generation does not like the fact, or people don't like, they're salty on Hulk Hogan, right?
He's not so a favorable
maybe
guy.
time heal all his wounds, whatever the case may be. But right now,
the
they can't roll Hulk Hogan out anymore.
Nah, here's the quote. Time heals all wounds, but the internet is forever.
Internet's forever.
And if you stick around too long, what happens is the next generation sees you differently than the previous generation. For example, kids see Michael Jordan as the crying face Jordan. They don't think about his greatness as how we used to think about his greatness.
Right.
I was listening to shout out to Cam and Mace for It Is What It Is podcast. Mace was saying that his son went through, was going through things, and Mace had a lot of different autographs from different rappers. And he said to his dad, "You know what, Dad? You got a lot of nice rappers that you met. They're really good. But there's one autograph of this guy that you missed. You know that guy, Notorious Biggie Smalls? He was really, really good." Not knowing that his son, not knowing that his dad was on the label, because he doesn't see his dad as the way we see his dad.
Right.
And this is the thing. Now, Hulk Hogan, I sound like the Ultimate Warrior. His legacy is, I won't say it's forever tainted, but he's got a lot of work to do. And isn't it strange? Whereas if you flash back, the Ultimate Warrior's legacy was tainted, persona non grata, and Hulk Hogan's was exalted. And now Warrior's legacy, in terms of how he's remembered and how he's spoken about, is higher than this. Over time, man, these things fluctuate and they change.
Yeah, they shift and change, but that WWE now don't roll him out anymore is not good, right? It's an L.
Yeah,
and Hogan, there's no win. There's no win for him.
But only in certain states.
Certain states. But there was a win last night for another legend who rolled his way out, right? And that was The Undertaker, right? The dead man rolled his way out last night after Rhea Ripley defeated Liv Morgan for the WWE Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley got the win. Good into a feud with Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. Great way they told the story in their wrestling match. Rhea had only lost to Liv Morgan throughout the year, right? She hadn't lost to anybody else but Liv. And so they told the story. She got the win last night. She kicked Dominic Mysterio in the nuts as one of my in the nuts. And then you see her as she walks out. The bell tolls, and which, by the way, everybody's using that bell toll now, right? Yeah, I go to sporting events. They use the bell toll. The New Orleans Saints use it when their players come out. Everybody using the bell toll now. It's like it's the staple. But the bell tolls. Taker comes out, and we get Taker on the bike Taker, right? We get the Taker with the motorcycle Taker. We get so. They roll out there, and you can see her geek out, right? She had that moment where I'm out here with the freaking Undertaker.
And yeah, she definitely marked.
Marked out, right? But it was great to see the Taker last night. Taker came out. We saw Michelle McCool. We'll get to all the celebrities later, but it was good to see Taker, who always get cheers from the fans. That is how, regardless of what Taker's political views there are, and we probably could figure them out, but you don't hear him say it.
That's an interesting dynamic, switching from the previous conversation that we just had. Both political allegiances of Kane, Undertaker, and Hogan are all the same. However, those two get a better reception than Terry Bollea.
Yes.
Interesting.
They're not outspoken like Terry. Terry was very animated. Sometimes it's better to keep your stuff to your chest, right?
Yeah. It's not what you say. Sometimes it's how you say it and how you do it.
And how you say it when you do it. So it was good there to see Taker last night. But we saw a lot of celebrities in the crowd last night. We saw Nikki Bellas. We saw the Macaulay Culkins. We saw the O'Shea Jacksons. We saw the Bill Simmons. We saw
Panga.
Right, Topanga. Right. Yo, which was they snubbed the dude that was also on the show beside it, right? They didn't even mention his name, man.
Fred Savage? Was it Fred Savage?
No, it wasn't Fred. It was the other dude, the other one that his friend Corey.
Oh, yeah, yep.
They snubbed him last night. Didn't even know his name. Didn't even want to put it out there. He ain't big enough stuff.
Flo Rida was there too, I believe. He didn't get
Flo Rida was there last night as well. They didn't mention his name, but he was there. Who else did we see? It was like who's who loves the world of professional wrestling was there in LA last night.
Michael Che,
Tiffany Haddish was there last night.
Macaulay Culkin. Who else? Yeah, they rolled out, and it was a star-studded event.
Star-studded event for professional wrestling, right? We already, of course, Logan Paul was there, but it brought the who's who out last night in Los Angeles for professional wrestling, which was great for the brand, great for showing the world what wrestling is. That you can be cool, as we talk about all the time, right? You can be cool and still be a wrestling fan.
Right. And I think that Netflix, the stamp of approval that Netflix gives WWE, it's not like the industry needed it, but it sure as hell helps when you can have a distribution platform like this, which is so interwoven into the fabric of everything now. Every comedian wants a Netflix deal. Every crime documentary that's a podcast, they want a Netflix deal. Like everyone wants it. It's the most highest coveted type of deal in entertainment that you can get. And the fact that the WWE is partnered with them, and it's like an even partnership. It's not like, Netflix is bringing, because they already have, great production value. It's everything that they're doing, Netflix is enhancing, and then they're bringing eyeballs to Netflix that Netflix wouldn't normally get. And they're going to stick around and they're going to watch things like Squid Game and, all those holiday movies that they have. And,
Right.
It's just, it's just a really, really good partnership. Really good partnership,
man. And speaking of also celebrity, I want to held this guy out for last. My man Travis Scott, because look, man. I had to text you guys. They're like, yo, is that what I think it is in his head?
Yeah.
The PG era is gone, man. Travis Scott was smoking a doobie, a joint, whatever you want to call it.
They were in LA, so
it was LA, man. But you was LA and you in the public arena. I'm sure nobody's gonna get any backlash on it, but it was Travis Scott. They knew. But it was what it is, man. This guy was living his best life.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they did it was a hell of a show. They balanced everything well. And I think going into the road to the Royal Rumble, Raw is going to be must watch, must see. SmackDown is going to be must watch, must see. But also, Paul Heyman, they asked Paul Heyman a question, and he said that he believes that Roman Reigns and Triple H deserve Emmy Awards.
Yes, on the press post show.
Partnering with Netflix makes that a reality. And if you haven't noticed, I'm pretty sure you have, but other fans, when it goes off, when SmackDown or Raw goes off, it says executive producers Paul Levesque and Lee Fitting. The reason why they put executive production credits at the end is so that way they can get their production credits within the Producers Guild, Producers Guild, what have you, the Directors Guild, which will make them eligible come television award season. So Heyman actually hit the nail on the head. Now that they're on this platform and it is a live sporting event or a live sports entertainment event, they are eligible and now qualify, which they've been eligible and qualified before, for awards.
Yeah, which is great because now you look, Heyman put his name out there. Like Paul Heyman may need one as well, right? But I love he said that in the press conference, and Triple H said the same thing. We're going to use terms people talk about villain and heel to break into. We as fans know about villains and heels and baby faces and all that, but you have people who don't know the terminology of this, and so they're gonna make it real. Like, hey, we know what we get when we go watch a movie, right? I'm suspending my disbelief. Tom Cruise, a Mission Impossible, may get beat up, make this happen.
Oh, no, you can't use Tom Cruise because that man is 60 plus. He still do his own stunts.
He still does stunts, right? He still, but you know what I'm saying. We go watch a movie and we know what we expect. When I go watch wrestling, I suspend my disbelief for the time I watch wrestling. Most people suspend their disbelief for the time they watch a movie. And if you ask some people suspend their disbelief when they watch the NFL Super Bowl because they think it's rigged and fixed.
Yeah.
Right. So again, but you suspend your disbelief and you get inside. And so that's what it is. There's no reason for the fourth wall anymore, right? It's not your grandma's wrestling. It's not your grandpa's wrestling where everybody thought it was real. Now, you still have some people who back there who still think it's real. Guess what? I tell people all the time that wrestling's fake. No, it ain't. Wrestling is real, right? Wrestling it may be scripted, but the money's real. And there's a whole bunch of money in professional wrestling right now. There's a whole lot of money in what they do. And I can suspend my disbelief for 3 hours now on Monday Night Raw. So it's good to see that. It's good to see that they're able to get these awards. And even when you go to NXT, you see Shawn Michaels' name on the producers' credits, right? So it's good for them to be able to get the recognition. And for those who don't know, that have been watching us, Vince didn't want to do this for years.
Yeah, he stayed away from it.
He stayed away from it. Him and Kevin Dunn, they stayed away from this for years. Vince could have been did this, but it's time. It's a new age, new era, and it seemed like everything Vince didn't do, right? Because he was kind of stuck in the old school mindset. Triple H and new staff are trying to move on. And it was good to see Stephanie last night as well.
Yeah, and it's just the evolution of the game, man. It can't stay the same. And even switching gears into other sectors of American culture, what have you, sometimes you can stick around too long, right? And that's clearly going back, with Hogan. And you look at like the political climate of the U.S. Some people in their positions have stayed too long. It's good to have a fresh mind, a fresh take, and a fresh approach to something that has been proven as a product in the marketplace. Yes, Vince had his ways, but whichever way that it turned out, now it's a new era. But I will say this last night it encapsulates what Vince always wanted and what he always saw and what was always his vision. Despite his personal flaws and despite the legal situation that he's in right now, we're just talking about a person that created a product, that had a vision for the product. He got it there. He cultivated the generation and the talent underneath him and his family, and they took it the rest of the way. And it is now in great and excellent hands. And I think that's what The Rock was saying in reference to Triple H. And I think that the fans will be better for it. The industry is better for it. And we're looking forward to this road to WrestleMania that's coming up before we hit after we hit the Royal Rumble.
Yep, after Royal Rumble. Last thing I want to hit on before we get out of here is this: Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa ended. I'm going to say ended, quotation. We don't know yet. The bloodline thing has a lot of story. Officially ended their feud. Unofficially ended their feud with the Ulafala, going back to Roman Reigns, who is the tribal chief once again. I love how the talking was going on back and forth this match, and how even the announcers talked about how Roman was grooming Solo to be the next high chief, right? to be the next high chief. But tribal chief, all right. But it switched over. With Solo wanted his bread now. He wanted his money now. And when I mention high chief, we got to realize the Rock is the high chief of Somalia. So they talked about that last night as well as the Rock being the high chief. But your thoughts on the Roman Reigns Solo Sikoa match? What I thought was good, and everybody getting involved in it was pretty good too.
Well, I mean, look, you can only go but for so long with this, and I think they've maxed out on every twist and turn that you can have. The pinnacle is the Umafala. And the thing is, like we said, wrestling is always great when you can have storylines that are riveting even outside of the title chase. And that's what we had. Great. His kicks was fly, the Kobe's that we text the Wizard Corey about it, well, I texted him and he put a post on social media. So, everything you could talk about within the match in terms of the work rate, in terms of the Rock coming out, in terms of the significance. And listen, for 2025, I'm a change. I'm Champ Creed still, but I'm about to be Tribal Chief Keith, right? I just got to find me a Umafala that I could buy, that I can purchase, that I can wear when we do our show and when we go to our events. It was a great ending to the feud, great ending to the storyline, and I'm looking to see what the next chapter is for each segment for the members of each particular bloodline.
Yeah, definitely, man. Great to see those, and how the WWE kept storylines going with Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes. How they with the Usos. We also saw Drew McIntyre lose to Jey Uso last night by a roll up. A schoolboy. It was great, great match. Physical schoolboy rolled them up. Raw last night, in my opinion, was a success. It was a win. It was a win for everybody. If you're a wrestling fan, people are talking about it this morning all over the world, all over the globe. Monday Night Raw, WWE, TKO. Great success. Hey, you guys, man, keep if you continue to make sure you follow us, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. Make sure you stay in tune with us for more wrestling content this year. 2025 What If Wrestling Podcast. We're going to provide you more content, more information. We're coming back with a second season of What If Wrestling. Stay tuned for that as well.
Tell them where they can go see the previous season. So listen.
You go see the previous season on Spotify, iTunes. They don't have Google Play anymore, but Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get your podcast from, you can go listen to the previous 9 episodes of What If Wrestling. We talk about what if Bret Hart had stayed in WWE. We talk about what if CM Punk and Cody Rhodes both would have stayed in AEW. We talk about what if Roman Reigns had not returned from his leukemia scare back in 5 years ago. So we talk about all this on What If Wrestling Podcast. So make sure you check it out. I'll also drop a link to those podcasts in the description. If you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. And we also, the biggest one I think I'd like to talk about was what if R-Truth would have won? What if R-Truth would have won the
Washington, D.C.
in D.C. All right. What if R-Truth would have won there? But again, check those podcasts out. What if Wrestling on your all your podcast platforms. Hey, I'm Glenn Thomas along with Champ Creed, and we talk to you guys a little bit later. Deuces. Peace.